Look around you. Your friends, your neighbors, maybe even you. Every person on earth shares one secret. We all came from somewhere else. Nobody stays in the exact same place forever. For thousands of years, human beings have walked, sailed, and traveled across the world. But leaving home is not easy. In fact, it is very hard and scary. People leave because they are hungry. They leave because they are running away from war. Or they leave because they have a deep hope for a better life. This is the oldest human story. Before there were countries or passports, there were feet walking across the earth. Hi, and welcome to Daily English Origins. Are you learning English? Great! Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started. This story is about migration. Migration is when people leave their home to live in a new place. Why do people migrate? Historians talk about push and pull reasons. A push reason is something bad that makes you want to leave. This could be war, no food, or a bad leader. A pull reason is something good that makes you want to go to a new place. This could be a good job, safe land, or freedom. Throughout history, these forces have shaped our world. Long ago, the first human beings lived in Africa. Our ancestors, the family members who lived long before us, were hunters. They did not have farms. They did not build permanent houses. They followed wild animals to find food. When the animals moved, the humans moved. Slowly, over many thousands of years, they walked out of Africa. They moved into Asia and Europe. They were simply looking for food, water, and safety. About 20,000 years ago, the earth was very cold. This time was called an ice age. An ice age is a long period of time when thick ice covers much of the world. Because so much water was frozen in ice, the oceans were lower. A bridge of dry land appeared between Asia and North America. Hunters followed big animals across this land bridge. They walked into a completely new land. They became the first people to live in the Americas. Later, the Ice Age ended. The weather became warm. People learned how to farm. They learned how to grow plants and keep animals. But farming caused a new problem. If people farm the exact same land too much, the dirt loses its power. The crops do not grow. This causes terrible hunger. So early farmers had to pack their bags. They moved across Europe and Asia to find fresh, rich dirt for their crops. They migrated to survive. As populations grew, people wanted things they did not have. They wanted salt, spices, and metal. So they started to trade. Trade is when you give something to get something else. People traveled long distances to trade goods. They walked along big rivers like the Nile in Egypt or the Yellow River in China. These rivers were like ancient highways. Many people moved away from their small villages to live in new, busy, trading cities. Opportunity pulled them there. Not all migration happened on land. Some brave people traveled across the ocean. In the vast Pacific Ocean, a group of people called the Polynesians built wooden boats. They sailed across thousands of miles of open water. They did not have maps or compasses. They used the stars and the wind to find their way. They were looking for new islands to start new lives. It was very dangerous, but their hope was stronger than their fear. In early Europe, the weather changed the map again. Winters became very cold. Food was very hard to find. Large tribes of people had to move south to find warmer weather and food. These tribes pushed into the lands of the Roman Empire. An empire is a large group of lands controlled by one strong government. The arrival of these new, hungry tribes caused many wars. But it also mixed different cultures together to create modern Europe. Migration is not always a choice. Sometimes people are forced to leave their homes. The saddest example of this is slavery. Slavery is when one person owns another person and forces them to work for free. Between the 1500s and 1800s, millions of people were taken from Africa. They were locked in ships and sent across the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas. They did not want to go. This forced migration changed the world forever, and it caused terrible pain. Other people migrated to find safety for their beliefs. In Europe, kings and queens often told people how to pray. If you prayed the wrong way, you could be put in prison or killed. This is called persecution. Persecution is when people are treated badly because of their race or religion. Many groups, like the Pilgrims, sailed to America. They wanted a safe place to pray. They traded their familiar homes for dangerous wild lands just to find freedom. As ships became faster, European countries wanted more power. They started building colonies. A colony is an area of land controlled by a different, powerful country far away. Poor workers in Europe heard stories of free land and gold in these new colonies. Hope pulled them onto ships. They migrated to places like South America, North America, and Australia. But their arrival often pushed away the native people who already lived there. This caused many wars and sad conflicts. In the 1800s, the world changed again. People invented big machines. They built huge buildings to hold these machines. These buildings are called factories. Factories make things very fast, like clothes and tools. But factories needed workers. Millions of people stopped farming. They left their quiet villages and moved to crowded, dirty cities to work. This massive movement from green farms to gray cities is one of the biggest migrations in human history. Hey there, quick question. Are you enjoying this story? If you are, please take 1 second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It tells us that you want more stories just like this one. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the story. Sometimes nature forces people to move. In the 1840s, a terrible disease attacked the potato crops in Ireland. Potatoes were the main food for poor families. Without potatoes, people began to starve. This event is called a famine. A famine is a time when a whole country has no food and people die of hunger. To survive, over 1 million Irish people left their homes. They crossed the dangerous ocean to America. They arrived with empty pockets but strong hearts. The 1900s brought new technology, but also terrible wars. World War I and World War II destroyed cities across Europe and Asia. When bombs fall, families must run. Millions of people lost their homes forever. They became refugees. A refugee is a person who must leave their country to escape war or danger. They walked across borders with only the clothes on their backs. They knocked on the doors of new countries, asking for a safe place to sleep. Arriving in a new country is only the beginning of the struggle. Migrants often faced very hard times. They did not speak the language. They had no money. Many times the local people did not want them there. They faced discrimination. Discrimination is when you treat someone badly simply because they are different. But these migrants worked very hard. They built railroads, dug inside dark mines, and opened small shops. Slowly, through tears and sweat, they turned their strange new lands into their true homes. In the last 100 years, travel became much easier. People invented big airplanes. A journey across the ocean used to take many months by ship. Now it only takes a few hours. This fast travel created a global economy. A global economy is a system where countries all over the world buy and sell things to each other. Because businesses are connected everywhere, people migrate to find better jobs in different countries. An engineer from India can easily fly to London to build computers. Today, many people migrate for education. Young students want to learn at the best schools. They leave their home countries to study at famous universities. To do this, they need a visa. A visa is a special stamp or document that gives a person official permission to enter and stay in a new country. After these students finish school, many stay in their new country. They become doctors, scientists, and teachers. They use their brains to help their new home grow. Sadly, nature is still pushing people out of their homes today. The weather is getting hotter. The oceans are getting higher. This is called climate change. Climate change is when the Earth's normal weather changes and becomes very dangerous. In some places, it does not rain for years. The farms turn into dry dust. In other places, terrible floods wash away towns. Families cannot survive, so they must migrate. They are called climate refugees. They are looking for land that is safe from nature's anger. Migration is not always between two different countries. Sometimes it happens inside the same country. Right now, millions of people in Asia, Africa, and South America are leaving their quiet villages. They are moving to megacities. A megacity is a huge, crowded city that has more than 10 million people living in it. Life in a megacity is very fast and loud. It can be hard, but it also offers hospitals, schools, and money. People are willing to trade the quiet country for the busy city to help their children. When people migrate, they do not just bring their suitcases. They bring their hearts, their music, and their food. Think about your favorite food. Pizza comes from Italy. Tacos come from Mexico. Noodles come from China. This happens because migrants share their culture. This creates diversity. Diversity means having many different types of people, ideas, and traditions in one single place. Diversity makes a country stronger, more interesting, and much more colorful. The story of migration is the story of humanity. From the first footprints walking out of Africa to the airplanes flying in the sky today, we are a species that moves. We move to escape the darkness. We move to chase the light. We move because we carry hope in our hearts. As long as there is hunger, war, or an opportunity for a better life, people will cross borders. It is not a crime to look for a better life. It is the most natural human instinct. The history of migration teaches us a beautiful lesson about resilience. Resilience is the ability to stay strong and keep going when life is very hard. Every migrant who leaves home takes a giant risk. They face fear, danger, and loneliness. But they do it for love. They do it to build a safe future for their children. The next time you see a newcomer in your city, remember their journey. They share the exact same brave spirit as our ancient ancestors. Hey there, just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.